Hey, what's going on YouTube? Parrish Plays here. Got a video I'm super excited for because this video only comes around about once every 2 years. So what am I going to be doing today? Today we're going to be opening up 2 packs of every single set from the Scarlet and Violet era. So here we've got the booster box, and again, like I said, we've got every set of Scarlet and Violet era, and we've got 2 packs from every set. So it just about fills up a booster box here. We've got, I think, 4 packs short of a booster box, but that's plenty for a video. That's plenty for me to open, so we'll get right into it. I did this about 2 years ago for the Sword and Shield era and had a blast of that video. I didn't pull anything huge out of these. You know, it's 2 packs from each set, so you're not really anticipating getting the big hit, but that's the magic of YouTube. You never know what could happen. And the thing is, from all of these packs, we're expected to probably get 8 to 10 hits out of it. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. And then with the magic of editing, I'll throw up the set name up here when it came out and some of the top chase cards that we're looking for in this set as we go along. But I'll try to give any stories that I have. Again, I've been in the hobby about 3.5 years now, so I was here for every single one of these. We'll kind of mark when everything started shifting, when it was harder to find, but we'll jump right into it again. So, Scarlet and Violet base, the first set of Scarlet and Violet era. And honestly, I love this set. I thought when it first came out, you know, it came out right after Crown Zenith, so you could say a little bit of a letdown. But honestly, I liked the Scarlet Violet era, so I loved seeing all these new Pokemon represented in the cards, obviously. And so I actually filled up a master set of this set, and great start there. My goal with the start of this, as I said, it was the first time I had been in a set release from the very beginning, or from an era at the very beginning. So I thought to myself, well, why not try to complete a master set of every single set of the Scarlet Violet era? And I was all gung-ho about it. And I actually did. I completed a master set of this, but that was as far as I got, because we'll get into the next set. Paldea Evolved was when we kind of changed things, and you know, there was one card in here. It's funny because at the time, the card in here that was going crazy was the Iono, and that's when I really thought to myself, am I collecting this just to check a box, or do I really like this card? And that's when I kind of stopped. You know, it's funny, I only had, you know, I only completed 2 master sets, but at the time I was like, I don't love the Iono, so why would I spend $80 just to complete that set when I'm not really in love with the card? But now the Magikarp is the big chase. There we go, we got our first hit of the opening, Tinglu, one of the legendary, pseudo-legendary Pokemon, the 4 hidden treasures. I kind of liked that. I liked the idea of hunting them. Felt a little bit like, you know, hunting the Regirocks back in the day. You had to pull out the 4 stakes in the ground, and then you could unlock their little hideout. And I like the Goldfish, and I really like Chien-Pao. I actually used Chien-Pao in my game, and I really loved him as a Pokemon. Again, I'm not really sure why people don't say they don't like the new generation Pokemon. There are a ton of Pokemon that I absolutely love with the new generation, so in my opinion, I'm a big fan. But of course, Paldea Evolved, we're looking for the Magikarp. That thing's been going crazy, as all my cards stick together. And the reason is because it's so hard to grade. As we get our first special illustration rare of the day, the Sagaro special illustration rare. That's not an Iono, that is not a Magikarp, but we will take that. And it's funny because I've already pulled this card once, but you talk about batching and all that stuff, so we might pull some doubles here. But this card is beautiful. The special illustration rare, the texture on this is just amazing. And that's what kind of separates the special illustration rares from the just normal illustration rares. I love the direction they're going with illustration rares, but the special illustration rares on there just pop. The texture is so good on those. And even though it's just a trainer and, you know, not everyone's favorite trainer, I still love those cards just because of how they look. The next set here, Obsidian Flames, another set that was pretty much universally disliked when it first came out. And then even more so because of how small it was, how easy the pull rates were. But for me, I'm a Charizard guy. I love Charizard, and I never did pull the Charizard special illustration rare out of here. So there's still some that I'm chasing here. Everyone says how easy it is to pull, and I'm still chasing it in a 10. So I would love to be able to pull that today. But 2 pulls so far, 1 special illustration rare, I can't complain. And that's kind of what I was saying. The magic of, you're only opening 2 packs, so you're not expecting to get anything. But when you're opening eventually probably 30 packs, you can expect to get something out of it. So again, looking for the Charizard. I'm trying to get the... Is there some... No. I thought there was a little bit of hint of gold back there, but that's not gold. But trying to get every single Charizard from Scarlet Violet in a PSA 10. So I do not have the one from Obsidian Flames in a 10, so that would have been fun to pull. I've got a few, again, coming from eBay to try and grade it. I've graded a bunch of those and have not gotten a 10 on it. My opinion, the best set from the Scarlet Violet era, 151, but I'm a Kanto homie, so of course I'm going to say 151 is the best. I love it. I wish every single Pokemon would have gotten an art rare, obviously, the way they did with Black and White, but with Demi-God packs and all that, I cannot complain. This set is so good. The special illustration rares that are in it are just absolutely amazing. I love this set so much. I've opened so much of this, and it's kind of funny. You know, I've opened a ton of it, and unfortunately, I have not pulled the Charizard. That's probably the only card that I have not pulled, as we get a Caterpie art rare. Beautiful Caterpie card. Not my favorite Pokemon, but I will never complain about pulling an art rare from 151 or an illustration rare, because they're all so good. You know, Caterpie, the Ash's first Pokemon, so that's a fun little memory with that, and that's what makes these illustration rares cool, is that, you know, it gives a little Pokemon like Caterpie a little bit of time to shine. And that's what kind of separates it, I guess, from the Black and White set. With Black and White set, with every single Pokemon getting an illustration rare, it's kind of hard for any of them to stand out, just because there are so many of them. And if in 151 every single Pokemon got an art rare, you probably wouldn't be excited about a Caterpie art rare, but because there's only so few of them in the set in general, you're excited to pull a Caterpie art rare. So happy with that one. Again, as I was saying, I've pulled 2 Demi-God packs from this set, both Blastoises, and I've pulled plenty of Venusaurs, I think 2 or 3. But yeah, never could find the Charizard as we strike out again. How cool would it have been to pull a Demi-God pack on stream there? But no luck there. Perhaps we'll find one in Paldean Fates. Pretty good joke, I know. Paldean Fates, really tough pull rates. Paradox Rift. The next, like, 2 or 3 sets, as I just botched the opening of this, are really interesting because they are, like, the definition of mid-era. Mid in that it came in the middle, and also mid in the fact that they are just not that great. And the problem with this is there are Paradox Pokemon, and that was Scarlet and Violet's sort of new gimmick, you know, was the Paradox Pokemon. And again, because they're new Pokemon, people don't really love them yet. So a lot of them fell to the wayside, and there's not much chase in here. Again, because the Paradox Pokemon, I was going to say either love them or hate them, but I don't know very many people that love the Paradox Pokemon in general. I know for me personally, I played this Scarlet game, so I liked the past Pokemon a little bit better than the future Pokemon. I just liked the aesthetic of them, which is weird because in general, I think I like futuristic and all that. As we get another beautiful art rare, the Dottler here. I do not have this card, so beautiful hit there. And the first one that I don't have, we'll be adding that to the collection. And what I did for Scarlet and Violet is, like I said, I was starting to put together a master set of every set. And then once I gave up on that dream, I decided to just put together like one Scarlet and Violet big binder. And so every hit that I've gotten from Scarlet and Violet, I put into that binder, or I say every hit, but every card that I've bought, I buy a lot of singles, goes into that binder. And so I just completed as one big Scarlet Violet binder. So everything, and it's really cool because then you can put all of the illustration rares on one page, all the full arts on one page, and it really does look good together. And it's a way, like, I had my Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield mixed together, but it just it doesn't like flow very well because you've got alternate art sitting with illustration rares and they're just a little bit different. So in my opinion, I like the idea of putting together one era in a specific binder, and I've found that works for me. That's been great. So Paldean Fates here, obviously we're looking for the Bubble Mew. That's one that I did not pull and missed out on buying, as I mentioned in my singles video. But we have pulled the Charizard, and the Charizard is actually my favorite card of the entire Scarlet and Violet era. So if I were to be looking for one card from this set, it would definitely be that Charizard. And we actually did get lucky. My wife pulled that Charizard, and we graded it in a 9. It came out. It's a beautiful card. Yeah, still my favorite card of the set. The Bubble Mew, I accidentally, it was like $80, $90 for the longest time, and I was just like, that's a little bit too expensive. It looks like we did get something here. Baby Shiny. I do love the Baby Shinies of the set. I am a sucker for shiny Pokemon just in general. I didn't realize that came in the first slot. But I do love shiny Pokemon in general, so I am a big fan of Paldean Fates sets. The first set that got me back in really was Shining Fates, and I was looking for that Charizard, obviously. I ripped open so many, I gotta sleeve up this guy. I opened so many Shining Fates packs, never found the Charizard, and that was kind of my first lesson in do not chase, just buy the card you want. I think I have probably 5 of those Rillaboom VMAX full art shinies, which is hilarious because it's the same rarity. So like I could have had 5 Charizard VMAXs, but instead I got 5 Rillabooms. So that was when I really first learned to save money, buy singles, don't chase. Put together, you know, little fun side projects like this as we get a Meltan. Beautiful card. This is a weird Pokemon, but you know, I have memories of him in Pokemon Go, which is fun. And that's kind of what's fun about Pokemon is there's so many different, you know, brands and things they put out there that even a little Pokemon like Meltan here, you still have a way to get excited about it because of, you know, of the Pokemon Go hunt, and it was really fun. So far we're doing pretty well on hits. Like I said, I was expecting 8 to 10 hits, and we're already at 6 so far, and we're not even halfway done. So this is gonna be a longer video. I apologize for that up front, but we move on. Again, we're in Temporal Forces, where I think the best card is in art, or is an illustration rare. So another one of those mid sets in the era that kind of gets lost behind all of these specialty sets that are just so good. Beautiful Scizor EX here. Scizor, really cool Pokemon. I love the you know, there's so many Gen 1 Pokemon that were so cool but never got an evolution in Gen 1. So I'm happy they kind of expanded this in Gen 2 to give some of these new Pokemon, or give some of these basic Pokemon some better evolutions. Really cool. That's a really cool Pokemon there. Twilight Masquerade is next, and we're looking for the Greninja. And this card was one that kind of started to pop off, and you kind of started to think, is Pokemon doing something here? As this is really when things started to go a little bit crazy, is because of this card. And it was, you know, an okay card, but as we get a Luxray EX, beautiful hit here. But the way it went crazy, I mean, I know Greninja is a popular Pokemon, but it shot straight up to like $200-300 like right out the gate, which is very rare for Pokemon singles, obviously. And that was kind of when people started looking at this era in general in a different way, which kind of started things to be going crazy. Because people started obviously ripping all of these packs to try to chase that one little Greninja card, as we get nothing there. But that's kind of the other thing with Pokemon right now, is that with rip and ship culture, all of these packs and boxes are just being ripped so much that it is making this sealed product go as crazy as it's going right now, which is wild to see as we're entering into Shrouded Fable. And this is a specialty set that kind of gets lost in the sauce of specialty sets. The Scarlet Violet era has some of the best specialty sets, obviously. Boom, I love this Kingdra EX. The 2 best cards in this set are unfortunately promo cards. Yeah, the Greninja EX and the Kingdra EX, special illustration rare, or illustration rares that came in those little boxes. Those are easily, if they were put in this set, they would easily be the chase cards. And I guess fortunately or unfortunately, however you're looking at it, they were put as promos, because if they weren't in that promo boxes, those would probably be like $100 to $150 cards in this set, and they would be the chase of Shrouded Fable. But luckily we got them in just specialty boxes, so we were able to get them, you know, for $35 when they were around. As we get a creepy Beware here, everyone's favorite. That card is so weird. Some of the artwork that they do on these is just so weird. And then as we're opening, like, look at this stack so far. When people compare Scarlet Violet to Sword and Shield, that's one of the big things, in my opinion, that gives Scarlet Violet a little bit of an edge, in my opinion, is the hit rate on all of these. I mean, especially the first half of Sword and Shield, the hit rates were so bad on these that the opening experience was miserable for 90% of the time. Now, I do think that is also why so many people are okay with ripping ships and opening so many Pokemon cards right now, because the opening experience is just so much of a better time. I mean, you might only be getting EXs or illustration rares that are only worth 50 cents, $1, or whatever, but like if you're not into the finances and you're just into collecting cool Pokemon cards, like it's so much better of an experience now in Scarlet and Violet than it was in Sword and Shield. And I think that's what's keeping people in it, because honestly, when people are opening Sword and Shield, you know, they would go out, buy a collection box from Walmart, GameStop, whatever you're buying it from, and you'd open all of these early sets like Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, and you could open 10 packs and only get 1 to 2 hits. And if those 1 to 2 hits were just tiny little EX cards, that was an experience that felt really bad. And that's the thing. You go out and you buy collection boxes now where you're getting 6 to 8 packs, and you're probably getting 2 to 3 hits from that. And again, they might just be A-Specs or EX cards or illustration rares, but those look and feel a lot better to hit than nothing. I mean, you can put these in a binder and they look sweet. And again, if you're not worried about value, you can build a collection that looks pretty sweet just based on the hit rates alone. So in my opinion, that's kind of what gives Scarlet and Violet the edge, especially for opening experience, because that does play a huge role in Pokemon cards, in my opinion. And that's really what gives it the edge. As we just got into Surging Sparks, I have not had much luck with Surging Sparks. I do love this set. I think it's probably my second or third favorite, probably my second favorite booster box set behind Destined Rivals, just because of the chase of Pikachu, but the Latios, Melodic in here is beautiful. There are so many good cards in this set. This was made up of 2 Japanese sets that are absolutely beautiful. And like, look at the art. The Meryl card's so cute. As we do not get the Pikachu, we strike out again in Surging Sparks, but that's okay because we were saving our luck for Prismatic Evolutions, obviously. Because how crazy would it be to hit a God Pack of Prismatic Evolutions on stream with this? But what do you guys think of Prismatic Evolutions? I do think it will be very investable, but I also think that it's going to be printed for a long time, and I think people will open the crap out of it because the card values inside are worth so much that it's just going to cause people to chase these for a long time. As we do get an Evolution, so I will take an Evolution EX card any day of the week, especially in OG. Jolteon, one of the boys. Jolteon, one of the fastest Evolutions, and always happy to see an Evolution. And that's kind of weird. I wish they had done illustration rares, because imagine if they had put an illustration rare of every Evolution in here as well with the special illustration rares. Something just to bridge the gap between not getting anything and a special illustration rare. And I know the Pokeballs and Master Balls were supposed to do that, and they kind of do, but just imagine if there was a illustration rare of, like, an illustration rare Vaporeon in here and an illustration rare Jolteon that was a 1 in 10 pull rate or 1 in 20 pull rate, something like the Trainer Gallery of last year, to bridge that gap. In my opinion, that could have made Prismatic Evolutions the best set, maybe of all time. I don't know. People love their Evolutions. I'm not the biggest fan, but people love it. So I do think if they had illustration rares, that would have really put it over the top. But in my opinion, it's still probably, again, opening experience, it's not one of my favorites, so it's definitely down there. But like, why does this pack feel thick? But as far as investability and card chase, because it's a hard set to open or hard set to hit anything on, I do think it'll be one of those that goes for, you know, $20, $30, $40 a pack. But it'll take 2-3 years to get there for sure. So if you are thinking about investing it, be okay with sitting on some dead money for a while, as we don't hit anything from Journey Together, which is, again, okay, because we're saving it for Destined Rivals. And that's the only thing to note on here is I think they changed the pull rates with Temporal Forces, made things a little bit harder. So when you look at these, like, most of the hits came from the first half of the opening. We've been getting kind of smoked here in the second half, which is, again, better for people if you're investing in hopes of stuff going up, because people will be chasing. But from an opening standpoint, it's harder to hit anything. But Destined Rivals, my favorite main booster box set of Scarlet and Violet era. I absolutely love this box. I think they did an amazing job with not only the Team Rocket Pokemon being in here, but the Heatwave Arena edition from Japan. I think the addition of all those Pokemon, Ethan's Ho-Oh, and Cynthia's Garchomp, those being in addition to Team Rocket, really puts this set over the edge. It's got pretty decent hit rates. It's got great chases with that Mewtwo, and Mewtwo, Garchomp, Ho-Oh, Moltres. There's so many good chases in this set. The value is holding up pretty well, but again, I think that's because it's new. Once it comes out, I think the value will go down a little bit, but as we get a beautiful Team Rocket's Giovanni, I am trying to master set this, and I do not have this card, so we will definitely take that full art of the OG boss himself. Beautiful card. I love Destined Rivals is my favorite set. My second favorite set. It's my favorite booster box set, but it is my second favorite set behind 151, who also has Giovanni in it. And now on to the last and final set from the Scarlet Violet era, Black Bolt and White Flare. It's interesting. It's the first time that they've done this sort of 2-set release the same way they do in Japan. So let me know in the comments what you think about it. Honestly, I don't like it at all, as we get a beautiful Zekrom EX here. And the reason I don't like it is just because it's hard enough to keep up with the set releases as they come out and to collect one of everything. I know, like I said, when I first started, the dream was, oh, master set of every set. And that was impossible before, and it would be even more impossible trying to collect 2 sets that come out at the same time. It's just not feasible, and it does make it I don't want to say not fun, but it makes it harder when you're trying to keep up, because it's much easier to burn out when you're trying to chase everything, when you're trying to collect everything, and you just can't. Again, they added the Pokeballs in this set as well, but a beautiful Darmanitan here. I love this card. And it's funny, the Darumaka art rare was one of my chase cards from the set. I think it looks so funny. So to pull that is pretty sweet. And I do like the hollow pattern on these cards, throwing it back old school, but beautiful art rare there. I think he's hilarious. Black and White, honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of this set. It was at a time when I was going to college when Black and White came out, so I was too cool for Pokemon, unfortunately. So I don't have a ton of nostalgia for these guys, but the fact that there's illustration rares for every single Pokemon is insane. And again, it makes it my biggest thing, talking about opening experience and how fun it is. I do think this is a very fun set to open, and if you can get your hands on it, it's just fun because you're getting hits all the time, and that I think is very important even for the overall health of the hobby. I think it's very important for kids, anyone, adult, like anyone, whoever's opening this stuff, to have fun ripping the product. Otherwise, you just will stop ripping after you miss out on all these pulls. So let's see if we can get last pack magic here. The final set of the Scarlet Violet era. The music's pretty on point for this, to be honest. But the hits are not on point, as we do get one of these cool energies. I am trying to collect one of every one of these energies, but I'm probably done opening Black Bolt, White Flare for now, so I'll have to buy those, but they should be cheap enough when we get there. So let's go over all of the hits that we got. Again, I was expecting 8 to 10, but 8 to 10 was probably old school Sword and Shield rates, with these being, and I think I didn't even sleeve up the Pokeball. So we'll see here. We won't count that, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hits, with 1 being a special illustration rare. That's pretty good. Again, we opened maybe 30 packs, so almost 1 in 2 packs had a hit in it. Some people don't count EXs as hits, which I absolutely do. In my opinion, EXs are of course hits, especially if they're cool Pokemon. But even if you don't count those, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits that are full art or special illustration rares. So, I mean, in my opinion, really good hit rates, really good overall opening, and that's what makes Scarlet Violet era such a good era, is the hit rates on these packs are so good that it's so much fun to open. So that's why I think there's so much demand for the hobby right now, because the sets are just so good. And so I think, people talk about manipulation and all that. I think a lot of it is just organic demand, and that's why Rip and Ships are doing so well right now. That's why it's so hard to find product. That's why Pokemon can't keep up. I do think they are printing to demand. I just think demand is that high that it's that difficult to find stuff. And this is why. They're crushing it right now. And kudos to Pokemon for that. It's a lot of fun. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. I will link my other video right over there from 2 years ago when I did this with Sword and Shield, because that was a fun one as well. So I'll probably pick 1 or 2 cards here to grade to keep like I kept from my last one. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Good luck on your openings out there, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.